I know that for many devotees, it may be a little tough that they have to complete their rounds, 16 rounds in the morning, maybe. But you see, afterwards you become very happy. And you must be noticing that इतना लंबा दिन है हमारे पास. You have a long day ahead to do so many services. Otherwise, if you don't complete our japa, it's like a ghost which is haunting us. Do mala baki hai. 2 rounds are left. 2 rounds are left. 1 round is left. You'll actually see become more efficient in doing so many things because of the clarity of mind which is resulted by chanting Hare Krishna. You can take so many decisions much faster, and all those things can be done if you chant nicely in the morning. So it may appear tapasya sometimes, sometimes not, but we should continue to do that. So now let us understand this shloka, Bhagavad Gita. So just make me spotlight. Yeah. So in text number 259, you have a phone or you can use my phone. You have to see the shloka, otherwise you can't get what I'm trying to speak here. In text number 59, we have taken up this point. Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasapyasya param drishtva nivartate. A person who is fixed in consciousness in the absolute, he has a higher taste, and that's why he gives up the lower taste. Now, what is so special about of being in such a state of consciousness will be explained in this shloka. In 2.59, it was explained that he has a higher taste, and that's why he's able to control all his senses. Kya special है इसमें? What is so special about it? Why are you saying that he's such a sthita pragya? Why are you saying he's a very special person just because he's able to control his senses? What is the difficulty? There's no difficulty. But what difficulty is imposed by the senses, and how difficult it is for even a jnani purush and a person who has knowledge, not a foolish person, will be explained in this shloka. Are you able to understand the theme? How difficult it is to control senses will be explained in this shloka. So a person who's able to actually control senses all the time, everywhere, must be having his consciousness fixed in the absolute. I think this is very easy to understand. What are the link? So please chant after me. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Please chant. Yatato hi api kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. So let us understand. This is very easy. You can directly understand the Sanskrit. Yatato hi api kaunteya. O Kaunteya, O son of Mother Kunti. Yatato hi api. Even he means certainly, and api means even. Even if a person is trying to control the senses, Purushasya, that person who's Purushasya means of that person. That person who's trying to control his senses, and he is vipaschitaha. Pashya means to see. Vipashya means to see very nicely. So through the eyes of knowledge, he has the eyes of knowledge. Even he may know Shastra and he may know, I am not the body. I am different from the body. I am spirit soul. Such a person, not only he knows, but he is also trying to control his senses. I think we are all falling in that category. We understand I am not this body. That much theoretically we nicely understand. If I wake you up in the for Mangal Arati and say, are you this body? What will you say? No, I am not this body. Then we put the Kamal again back. Yeah. For 15 minutes, let me be body, and then again I'll speak up about soul and all these things. So do all of us know that we are soul and not the body? Yes. We are not like gross materialists who are completely absorbed in sense gratification. That's all of us will admit. And we are also trying to control our senses. It's not that we don't want to control our senses. We want to let the senses let loose, do whatever you wish to do. Do we want like that? Amarnath Prabhu? Are we allowing our senses to behave every time the way they want to behave? That is also not there. So we want to control our senses, and we are trying to control our senses. And we know that because of not controlling my senses, I have become more involved in avidya, in ignorance. All these things we know. Still, Indriyani Pramathini. Pramathini means they are mad. The senses are mad, and that's why, and they're very powerful also, and that's why Haranti. Haranti, you understand? Snatch or kidnap by force. Haranti prasabham manaha. Prasabham means by force they take away the mind of a person who's trying to control the senses. Are you able to understand the meaning of the shloka? Yatato hi api kaunteya. O kaunteya, do not think that this quality of always being able to control the senses is very easy. Because even if a person is vipaschit, he's learned, he's trained, but even if he's trying to control his senses, the senses are so powerful that they take his mind away. So don't think that controlling senses is easy. And if you see some devotee falling down because of that also, don't be surprised. Be surprised if he does not fall down. Be surprised if he can actually control his senses. It's not an easy task. Before I go forward, I'll tell you a small story. Today I'll tell many stories. Acha? Stories. I like stories. Yes. Alexander came to India and he won some part of India. And he saw, by some arrangement, he came to a yogi's hut. And as soon as he entered into the hut, the yogi said, "Oh, my servant of the servant, please come." And Alexander was surprised. Why? How can I be a servant of your servant? I'm a king. So very interesting example the yogi gave. He said, I have controlled my senses and you are still a servant of your senses. So that's why you are servant of my servant. And same thing you see, Prithivim Zasishat, Atyahar, what is that? Vacho Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Udharapasta Vegam, Etan Vegan Yo Vishahe Tathira, Sarvam Apimam Prithivim Zasishat. Be very careful about it. It's not that a goswami will not get these urges, but who's able to tolerate those urges is a goswami. Are you able to understand this point? And you will see this in Bhagavad Gita also further. And you'll see in the shloka also. Actually, I wanted you to speak that shloka to us. Anyhow, it's in the purport, so we'll discuss that. The urges will come. Prak sharir vimokshana, before, till the time of leaving the body also. The urges will come for sense gratification. But he is not interested in those things. It doesn't disturb him. So, but what the Lord is telling, senses are so powerful. Not only powerful, they don't want to hear also. Pagal, you understand Pagal? If you say something to a Pagal, he will listen? No. So that's what the word is Pramathini. Even if the mind or the intelligence says, Arey, this is useless, my dear Pagal sense, you don't understand this. You are crazy. No, I want this. I am not experienced in that, but I think devotees know what is the meaning of crush. K-R-U-S-S, K-R-U-S-H. I don't know even the spelling also. Sorry, not K, Crush. Crush, you understand? Well, boy is becoming attracted to a girl is becoming attracted to a boy, and they actually get crushed. And that's what they are saying. Their mind gets crushed, it's taken away. They can't have any intelligence. Oh, she loves me. I was reflecting upon it. Suppose a person, I'm not reflecting on marriage, I was just observing on this point. We know that somebody's swabhav does not change. Everybody's face changes.
Yes.
Do you agree, Amarnath Prabhu? Swabhav changes?
Yes.
Not much. Not much. Almost they will remain the same. So now if somebody marries a beautiful girl, but she has a very bad nature, so this is reflecting. The face will change, she will become old, but Swabhav will not change. A strong reflection came to me. Similarly, a girl may marry a man who's very wealthy. His face will change, his wealth may also change. His wealth, he may not remain wealthy, but his swabhav will not change. He may remain angry, he may just be very, very difficult to tolerate. I'm just, anyhow, just a reflection which I'm sharing, but I'm just saying, not realizing this, we just become captivated by the senses. Have you noticed something which you like? How does the mind says, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then suddenly another thing comes and then mind says, I want this, I want this, I want this. Have you noticed this behavior of the mind? It's not that the brahmacharis like us do not get, see, I talk openly. I don't like to say no. My mind always gives idea. Why don't you marry this girl? Actually, and why don't you marry that girl also? Then I tell to my mind, how many girls can I marry? I'm already married to Krishna Balram. He's my Swami. What is this? Is it not? Any beautiful girl will come, our rascal mind will say, why don't you marry her? Why don't you marry her? As if all are proposing me only. It's like, it's this rascal dumb mind. This is why every time we have to hear, this is the strongest, not strongest, natural tendency of mind. Every time same thing. Same proposition. You know how Burijan Prabhu nicely explains, quoting from Bhagavatam, a prostitute she's the same prostitute, but she will dress in a different way. Same eatings, mating, sleeping, defending, same. Only thing a brahmachari can say no, a person who's not a brahmachari will say yes. I'm trying to say, the Vegas will come, the urges will come. Those who can tolerate, they can advance in Krishna consciousness. And the Lord is saying it's not easy. But how actually we can tolerate? We'll go forward. Mind is very dangerous. Anyhow, I have so many things to say on this shloka. Very, very interesting. The senses are so strong and impetuous. Impetuous means they don't listen. O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. So there are 2 points you have to understand. Vipaschata means he can see he is not the body. He knows he is not the body. And not only he does not know, he knows that he is not the body, he is also, yatanta, he is also trying to control the senses. And still it drive away. Very dangerous. Gita Bhushan commentary. You can understand from the analogy which we have given earlier, the analogy of chariot and the horses. So if the rassi is very loose, then the senses, which are like horses, they naturally don't want to go in one direction. They want to go all in different directions. Are you able to understand? The tongue wants to eat something nice, and the ears want to hear something nice, and the eyes want to see something nice. Is it not? It's amazing if all the horses are going in different directions, where our chariot will go. We'll be confused. But something very subtle and very sweet, Mahaprabhu's experience in a very, very strange way. My eyes want to see Krishna. My ears want to listen Krishna's words. My nose want to smell Krishna's fragrance. But my mind can only be with one sense, so my mind is becoming bewildered. Are you able to understand this? Beautiful in Chaitanya Charitamrita comes. Very nice. I mean, I never planned to speak this, but this has become very, very nice. This Krishna has all those things to the highest capacity. The fragrance of Krishna, the words of Krishna, the form of the Lord, the touch of the Lord, everything is billions and zillions of times very, very attractive. So when the soul's senses are able to perceive that, then he becomes bewildered, because mind can only be with one senses. Are you know this point? You can only focus on one Gyanendriya at one point. But now all of them want to serve Krishna. This is called awakening of Krishna consciousness. When our actually love becomes awakened, actually actual senses become awakened, then we can perceive Krishna. But the only way to do it is to the process of devotional service. Gita Bhushan commentary. This verse speaks of the rarity of being such a sthita pragya, established in that knowledge of Atma. For a man who's intent on conquering the senses, who can distinguish his real nature as Atma from sense objects, vipaschita, the senses such as the ear, which act as agents or doers, still take away the mind as if by force. Now it's quite interesting. The senses themselves are inert. They are dead matter. Basically, they are dead matter. They are not conscious, but they are being addressed as haranti, as if they are a person. ग्रहण कर रहे हैं इस बात को. Haranti means they take away. They take away. They means like a person. They are not person. And there's a very secret behind what actually means. We ourselves are supplying them the energy. It's a very subtle point. By our previous impressions, by our activities of sense gratifications, we have impressions in our heart. Okay? And you must be able to see those impressions when you chant Hare Krishna. They keep some good impressions, some bad, they keep on coming. Now the secret, which is again going to come again and again, is the secret is, if I don't join my free will with the impression, it doesn't become lust. I'll repeat this. The impression is there, it will come and go. But if you do not supply the energy of your willingness to act or as per that impression, then it doesn't convert into lust. Lust is free will plus material impressions. Then it is lust. Then it dominates us. You will see this in the commentary, but this is very, very important point, so I want to mention here. So this is हमारा काम के कारण से हो रहा है इंद्रिय. All these senses are getting power from Atma. I again repeat the same point. Atma desires to enjoy, then the Lord will activate the pranas. That means all the various kind of life airs, and then the mind becomes activated, and then the senses become activated. So all those things are there because we desire to act as per our previous impressions. So a person who wants to have self-realization, he will not act as per his previous impressions, even if they are pushing, even if they look very attractive. This is a very important point. It's not that I'm chanting Hare Krishna, so all the impressions will be deleted immediately. Does it happen? No, it's not immediately. Many have got removed, but some impressions are there. So we have to stop acting on them consciously. Then we'll get, and also simultaneously we should have good impressions of bhakti. Just like we discussed yesterday, that how rasa varjam rasopyasya. We restrict our senses and simultaneously we engage our senses in Krishna's service. Okay? So what is being mentioned is there that the senses, as if they are some kind of person, that they haranti, they take away, they snatch away the intelligence of a person. Do you remember the story of Ajamil? Everybody knows. Ajamil was knowing it. It is not good to look at the prostitute. And even if he has looked at it, just one glance, and then still he was thinking, oh, I should not meditate upon it. Everything he tried, and it's all failed. So we must remember, unless we are actually situated in Krishna consciousness, tasting Krishna consciousness, we cannot say no to sense gratification. I mean, we can restrict ourselves for some time, but actually to become indifferent to sense gratification, we must be tasting Krishna consciousness. And the formula has been told in previous shloka, so I won't elaborate on that much. Taking away here means that the senses make the mind indulge in sense objects. I'll explain this. Okay, I should not look lustfully at a beautiful girl or any girl. beautiful or not beautiful. But when the girl will come in front of me, the mind will say, Thoda sa, what is the difficulty in enjoying a little bit? Now, for us, it will say, Kya ho gaya? What is a big difficulty? Is it not? If I speak such things, people think this person is crazy. What is the difficulty? Now the boys are being trained in this only, is it not? What is the difficulty? What is the problem? But we have heard that a person who wants to go back to Godhead, that lustful glance will create an impression in the heart. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Very nice example before you go forward. How our senses are tricking us. They say, they preach to us, you engage in sense gratification, nothing will happen, don't worry, nothing will happen, kuch nahi hoga. But every time our sense, knowledge acquiring senses is contacting a sense object, there is an impression in the mind. Have you noticed this? Have you ever noticed that in your japa, you are remembering something which you have heard two people discussing which you were not part of? Have you ever happened to you? You just heard something and it is just coming over in your consciousness. You have just seen something and then it just begins to come up in your consciousness. I want to see if they would be zoomed. They're not sleeping. Acha. So, are you able to understand this? Have you ever, in a good way also, if you heard something about Krishna by some devotee at any point of time, suddenly don't you remember that? नहीं समझ रहे हैं? Something you might have heard maybe 10 years back about Krishna, and you're chanting, and that really inspired you at that time, and suddenly it comes up.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. So what I'm trying to say is, whenever the senses are coming in contact with a sense object, an impression is there in the mind. Good way also, bad way also. So a devotee will consciously try to have Krishna conscious impression. I still remember in Bits Pilani, I went with Shamhari Prabhu. It was 2003. And I still remember the pudis and lauki sabji, which was, no, lauki nahi, papita sabji. Still, that impression is very nice, lauki sabji. I mean, how many years have passed? 2003. And I still remember the first prasadam I got was aloo paratha and dahi. And they gave me nice mango. I can still remember that, is it not? And the pineapple halwa and the devotees. You remember, is it 2003 I came to Krishna consciousness? I remember how they have shown me this body and soul and all those things. Do you remember all those things? Taking book of Srila Prabhupada and reading it. Akash is saying he's got paneer. Yeah, so you remember, is it not? Every devotee. So I'm just saying, and also remember that the impressions of bhakti cannot be deleted. There is no backspace button for bhakti. There is no delete button. That is a good point. But all material things will slowly go away. The impressions will go away. So, what we have understood by saying Haranti Prasavambana, the senses will not listen to us and they will say, no, right now let us enjoy and then we'll talk. We will hear your philosophy later on, but right now let us enjoy. Do you agree with this? That's how the senses not listen. Arey, humne sune hai lecture. We have heard Bhagavad Gita and we know more than you, but right now we want to enjoy. So that is how it is difficult. But we have heard about the person, no, he is completely controlled, Satyapragya. How do the senses make the mind indulge in sense objects if the person is situated with discriminating knowledge, which opposes indulging in those sense objects? Now, Arjuna is saying, the Acharya is explaining, picking up the word vipaschita. I know a person who is foolish, he does not know that sense gratification is bad. But if a person is vipaschita, if a person can see that sense gratification is bad, then how can senses pull him? I give an example. If a person has diabetes, he knows taking sugar is bad. So he never takes sugar, is it not? Now you understand? He knows sugar is bad, rice is bad, and still he takes sugar and still he suffers also much. Something is coming in my heart, which I have heard from Prabhupada, which feels very... Should I speak? You will not feel offended? You will not. How? But Prabhupada says that, I cannot, it's too heavy, but he says that a woman experiences there is so much pain in giving birth to a child, but again she gives birth. and then again she gives birth. And same thing, the man understands to take care of one child is so difficult, but then again they procreate. And they procreate, is it not? People are seeing that by getting married, nobody is becoming happy. Have you seen anyone who's married and is happy? They may show in front of you, but nobody is. They will not tell you. They will give you customer review 5 point out of 5 point, but actually their own customer review is only 1 point out of or 0 point or whatever. No review. It's amazing. And still people cannot control the senses. At least 2 or 3 devotees I know who just want to give up their homes and just do bhakti only. Actually, even if their wives are actually devotees. Do not think that devotional life in Grahastha life is very happy. It also is not happy. One devotee told me, if my wife one time says, you go away, she does not speak. She may fight a lot, but she does not say that you go away. Because if she knows, even if she says once, I'll go away and not come back. Boss told. Boss told me, once she tells that you go away and don't come back, I'll go away and never come back. Should not be surprised. It is a fact. Atma, soul, cannot be satisfied by any sense gratification. So, but the point is, and even if a person knows it, still he cannot control his senses. So this are so powerful. So then the Lord gives the example, answer, because the senses are very strong, pramathini, they can suppress that knowledge. Suppress, samajh rehna. Gyan, daba denge, na? Don't want to hear this knowledge. Keep shut, like this. Therefore, the Sthita Pragya carefully protects his steadiness in Gyan from the senses, such as a person protects a great treasure from thieves. That is his setting of sense control. Beautiful, beautiful point is mentioned here. A devotee knows the greatest treasure is my Krishna consciousness. And my senses are like thieves who are looking at that. Are you able to understand? A very heavy example which has been given by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. He says that asad varta veshya shvapacha ramani ye hridisprishet. Very nicely. I don't remember the whole shloka, but the meaning I know. Asad varta for material things, mundane things. Talks about mundane things are like a village prostitute. They are very heavy, very sharp in this. They don't mince words in that. Asad varta veshya shvapacharamani. Not even a clean prostitute. A prostitute who eats dog. That's how they're using that words. Asad varta veshya shvapacha. Shvapacha, you understand? Eating dog. Shvapacharamani yedi hirdi prashe. If it touches your heart, then it steals. It may give us some pleasure, just like a prostitute may give some mundane pleasure, but takes away or snatches away the wealth of the traveler. You understand the example? Similarly, mundane talks, prajalpa, takes away our desire to serve Krishna, which is our real wealth. Are you able to appreciate this point? I'm sorry, I'm just a little kind of heavy, but this is how the acharyas have explained. Prajalpa breeds anarthas. So you have to be very cautious what we are talking. And you remember, how does he speak? All those things were mentioned. He only speaks about Krishna. And the more we speak about Krishna, our Prajalpa is getting destroyed. I know that it is little painful to hear. But it is, yes. Asadavarta vesha visrajamati sarvasya harani katha mukti vyagra. What is it? Katha mukti, where is it? Katha mukti vyagra nashrunu kila sarvatma kilani api tyaktva lakshmi patiratamito vyomanayanim vraje radha krishna swarati manidvau tvam bhajamanaha. Beautiful. And the way to sing it also is very nice. I learned it quite some time. I could not understand how to sing it, but one devotee, I think it's Mukunda Dutt Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, he sang it and I heard it. From very nice. We are very careful about this. From where we get these desires for sense gratification. The person who's Krishna conscious strictly avoids sense gratificatory talks. Be very careful. We'll see that all that what Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada will explain these things in the later part of the purports of other shlokas. That by sound we get material desires. And you see, now when you're hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures or you're hearing Prabhupada's purport, what desires are coming in your heart? I may be a number one sense gratifier, but do you feel like it is a good idea to be a sense Goswami? To be Goswami? Are you feeling that? When we you always feel that whenever you hear Prabhupada's purports and hear them and discuss, you always feel, even if a number one sense gratifier, it's not a bad idea to be a Goswami. It is good actually. Maybe I should try, because you are associating with Srila Prabhupada. Have you felt like that? Hamasha you will feel inspiration. I should become a good devotee. Purport. There are many learned sages, philosophers and transcendentalists who try to conquer the senses, but in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim to material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind, because even if they have given up the sense objects, but the desire for sense objects has not gone away. समझ रहे ना मेरी बात? It's like you have a bottle of liquor, so you may have thrown out the liquor, but the smell is there. समझ रहे ना? Smell is there. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and perfect yogi, was misled by Menaka into sex enjoyment, although the yogi was endeavoring for sense control with severe types of penance and yoga practice. And of course, there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Before I go further, I want to give an example in this regard. The way the yogis control the senses is, suppose there is a snake which has 5 hoods, and with any hood it can bite. So if you hold it by neck, you understand? So still he has 5 necks. Somehow they're holding it very strongly, but little bit inattention, and with one hood it will bite you. Are you able to understand? That's what happened with Vishwamitra. Now, why Srila Prabhupada is giving an example of Vishwamitra here very carefully? What did the shloka says? Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. So, you know the whole pastime. Vishwamitra ji was, I think, practicing for 60,000 years. 60,000 years. How many years we have been practicing sense control? I'm trying to learn the spelling of sense control. It starts from S or C, I don't remember. Okay, so don't worry, we are just trying to learn. So he was trying to control his senses for, I believe, 16,000 years? 60,000 years. So you know that Menaka was sent by Indra. And you know also that Vishwamitra was a king. So he had experience of, so to say, enjoyment with women and like that. So that impression was there. That was not removed. I am giving this example because an example of another king. 2 kings will also come who are devotees. So now, as soon as he heard those ankle bells, just ankle bells, he was actually in meditation. He was not even, how to say, he was not opening his eyes. And then he must have opened his right eye or left eye, and then left one also, and then he's finished. So you can understand why Prabhupada is giving the example. One sense and mind is gone away. What to talk of all the senses? Just one sense, and who has been trying to control. So reason you understand why he could not control? Because internally the desire had not gone. He was restricting himself, but he was not getting a higher taste in Krishna consciousness. I'm just worried why. I'm not worried, but I'm just contemplating. Why did he not do bhakti for 60,000 years? Also, you know Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was doing so much austerity, but did his senses become controlled? And what austerity Prahlad Maharaj did? Nothing. He just heard from Narad Muni, and he had no desire to enjoy anything in this material world. So I think you must be understanding what actually it means. Shrunvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hirdayam tastha badrani vidhunoti surutsatam. When we have eagerness to hear about Krishna, Krishna internally cleanses the desires of material enjoyment. Only thing is eager. So did you pick up the point? Even if there are desires of material enjoyment, a person can still be eager to hear about Krishna. And if he's eager to hear about Krishna, those desires of sense enjoyment will be washed away by the Lord, to the effect that they don't spring up again. And as the desire becomes as the heart becomes more and more cleansed, your eagerness to hear about Krishna increases further and further, and there is more purification after that. All of you are free from lust? इतना समय लगता है उत्तर देने में? नहीं, no, we are not. Am I? No. But are we eager to know about Krishna? Yes. Eager to hear about Krishna? Yes. So we should be happy with that. Just focus on this part. Develop your eagerness to hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna. बाकी contract Krishna का है. You just hear about Krishna, you chant about Krishna, then cleansing the heart is unka contract, and he doesn't fail. You do your duty, Krishna never fails his duty. Never ever. And nobody can stop him also. Amarnath Prabhu, if you have heard about Krishna, can you say, Krishna, don't clean my heart. I don't want to get my heart clean. No, it doesn't work. You can't stop Krishna from cleaning your heart. And the more, think about it, the more your heart gets cleaned, the more you can understand Krishna, and the more you become enthused to. It's like a feedback circuit, you know. The more you become enthused to discuss about Krishna. And then again, Krishna cleans your heart, and then again you become more enthused. Don't know this sloka, but you see, amazingly, every time I discuss it, something new comes up. Anyways. So, becoming a yogi, no chance. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. So, we have the devotee has highlighted very nicely, without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot cease such material engagements. What is the answer? Because the soul needs happiness. You cannot say, don't do this, do. No, it doesn't work like that. Do this for Krishna, do this for Krishna, do this for Krishna. That is a training of bhakti. And that way is very easy. Okay? Arjuna had told, you know that if you know Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna had told that Ashtanga Yoga is very difficult. But he has not told that fighting for Krishna is difficult. Did he ever say this? Have you ever heard that Arjuna ever told fighting for you is difficult? Do you know? Amarnath? Never. But if he definitely says this Ashtanga Yoga is very difficult. So we may have a very wrong conception that whole day we have to just sit and chant Hare Krishna. That is not the process for everybody, at least. Even this they will become all of us will become restless. We have so much energy. One sannyasi, I think Bhakti Vibha Maharaj was saying, he's around 60 years. He says, I feel so much energy to preach Krishna consciousness. I was very enthused by that. So we should preach. And Prabhupada says, unless a person is constantly preaching to non-devotees, the effects of modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. Even if I am not passionate, I'll become ignorant, I'll sleep. But if we have preaching services and services to do, then we can avoid that sleep, is it not? A practical example is given by Sri Yamunacharya, a great saint and devotee, who says, Yadavadhi mama chetaha Krishna padar vinde Nava rasadhamni udyatam rantumasi Tadavadhibat nari sangame smaryamane Bhavati mukha vikaraha shushtu nishtivanam cha. Very beautiful shloka. Yadavadhi mama chetaha Krishna padar vinde. Since my mind has become fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna, Nava rasadhamani udyantam rantumasit. I am experiencing new and newer taste from hearing Krishna Katha, from serving Krishna. Tadavadhibat nari sangame smaryamane. So when I remember my association with women, so you see, even if a person is tasting Krishna consciousness, the previous impressions may come up. Did I mention this point? The previous impressions will come up. I could not understand, he's a pure devotee, how he can remember those things? But if impressions are there, they may come up. But what is his realization? Bhavati mukha vikara sushtu nishti banamcha. अभी क्लास खत्म नहीं हुई है. अच्छा ब्राजील से आया था, सो प्रीचिंग कर रहे थे. अच्छा ब्राजील की प्रीचिंग कर रहे थे आप, पोर्चुगीज में प्रीचिंग कर रहे थे. तो एनीवेज, भवति मुख्य विकार, you understand? This is very nice. You think about the shloka. Mukha vikar means क्या है? Do you understand? Suppose you're going to have prasadam now, and you have a rasmalai which is bitter. Rasmalai which is bitter. ये कौन सा flavor है प्रभु जी? If you eat a rasmalai which is bitter, what will be the impression on your mind? Wow, is it not? No. What is this? क्या बनाया? ऊंची दुकान फीका पकवान? What is this? You understand? मुख विकार समझना, कैसा विकार मन में आएगा, चेहरे पे आएगा? What is this? क्या बना दिया? I give an example. This has really happened to me. One brahmachari was with me. He was my friend, and he was just sitting next to me. I was South Indian, and at that time our prasadam was not that nice, so they used to make some strange idli and sambar. So they were serving idli and sambar, and I took out of my ignorance idli and sambar, and he did not take. I said, "You are a South Indian and you don't know, why are you not taking idli sambar?" Then he said, "Prabhuji, because you have not tasted actual idli and sambar, so you are thinking this is idli and sambar." Does it make sense to you what I'm trying to say? So now a devotee has experienced nicely in Krishna consciousness. So why you want to go for sense gratification? One sannyasi told me, Chandramali Maharaj, as you keep on practicing Krishna consciousness, even if a woman comes, it is like looking at a door. Look at the door now. Look at the doors in your room. Do you feel like that? Nothing. Because by the practice of bhakti, the desire itself is finished. नहीं समझ पा रहे मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? So coming from a sannyasi, he must be having that realization. That's why he's saying, very nice Maharaj. He was mentioning this one. Why I'm saying this? When a person is a beginner in Krishna consciousness, he feels, मेरा तो कोई hope नहीं है. I have no hope. This desire for sense enjoyments will never go away. No. I only see darkness in my life. कुछ नहीं, कोई light ही नहीं दिख रही है. But if you keep on chanting Hare Krishna, everything will be okay. A small point I want to say, Yamunacharya, he was the son of Nathmuni was a great Vaishnava Acharya, and he was the son of, was he the son of Nathmuni? No, he was the grandson of Nathmuni. I am forgetting the name of his father. So I will encourage you, if you don't understand Hindi, obviously you understand, you please hear the Ramanujacharya series which we have posted in Bhagavad Gita. Very tasty, very nice, very, very nice. At least I think I have heard 3 or 4 times. Very tasty. By His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. Beautiful. So there it explained that he was a very great devotee. He was a very nice devotee from his beginning, from childhood. And what happened, I will not tell the whole story, but he defeated the king's Raj Pandit, whose name was Vidwajan Kolahal. I will not tell the story, I'm just giving you a trailer so that you can hear the whole movie. So then the bet was, if this Yamunacharya, his name was Albandaru, that if he defeats this Raj Pandit, then the queen said, the king said, I will give him half of my kingdom. Like that. And the queen had made a bet, if he is not able to defeat Raj Pandit, I'll become your maid servant. I'll not remain a queen. It was a very heavy bet. So actually he defeated the Raj Pandit. How? I will not tell. Only 3 questions. He defeated the Raj Pandit who could actually defeat everybody. Prabhuji, patao na? Nahi. I will not tell the questions. You hear the lecture. Very nice questions. Should I tell? Oh, we'll lose time. You don't have time for that, but really very nice questions. So, and then he became a king, and then for many years he was enjoying. That's why he's saying, Sangamis, Nari Sangamis Maryamane. So all those impressions were there in his heart. But then again, Nathmuni, before leaving his body, he sent one of his disciples, his name was Ram Mishra. Shriman Nath Muni was father of Yamunacharya. And who was the... Grandson, I believe it. Yeah, grandson. No problem, you know that. So then Nath Muni says, you please bring my grandson back again. So then Ram Mishra gives him some nice trick for 1 year, and then he brings him back. What was that trick? I will not tell. You please hear the lecture. And then when he's coming, then he speaks Bhagavad Gita, Srila Ram Mishra. And then when he hears it, then he becomes very attracted. He remembers his previous impressions. And then he goes to Ranganath and never comes back. What I'm trying to say, he's experiencing Krishna consciousness, so even if those sense impressions come up, who will like to taste it? Very great realization, because it's a very advanced state of Krishna consciousness. Since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor. Whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it and I spit at the thought. Prabhupada used to say, I spite at the thought. Thoo. And you actually spit also. Prabhupada said that. So very exalted state of consciousness. But what sutra you are getting? Mind must be engaged in Krishna consciousness. His Holiness Vrindavan Chand Maharaj also mentioned the same thing to me, that if we become absorbed in understanding Shastra and if we get a taste for Shastra, Maya ki vrittiyan dur rehti hai. You understand? Those powers of Maya, they influence you much less. If we are situated in goodness, still the Maya will influence, but much lesser than a person who's in passion and ignorance. This is a fact. If you actually get taste for discussing Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, naturally, Krishna also purifies, but if you have a natural taste, then you will see how base desires are not that much affecting. So it's very important for us to discuss these things. Krishna consciousness is such a transcendently nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful. It is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by a sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. Is he not happy? He's simply taking a lot of vegetables. I mean, that means we should not eat nonsense. So he's happy with both his eyes looking at his food. So because he's eating, now the example has been given in Bhagavatam itself. By doing bhakti, the more you eat, the more your hunger will go away. Now you able to understand? The more you chant Hare Krishna, the more your hunger, thirst for material enjoyment will go away. The more you hear about Krishna, the more this thing will go away. So now the idea is, one should not say, Prabhuji, I'm healing for 15 minutes, but my desire for sense enjoyment is not going away. So eat more, hear more. Very nicely put by one devotee. If chanting is difficult, chant more. Chanting is difficult, then chant more. That's the solution. I will, before I go forward, I must tell you this. I have experienced how one mantrik was removing some kind of spell on one Mataji. She was very okay before the mantra was being pronounced, but as soon as he began to speak the mantra, immediately, like that. So, same example has been given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Pishachi paila mati channa hoy. This Maya Rupi Pishachi has captured our mind, and we just, because of that, we forget who we are. So, as soon as you pick up your beads, Maya is so much troubled. Why is chanting Hare Krishna? Why is chanting Hare Krishna? All kind of reasons she will give, not chant Hare Krishna. And she's no taste also. Why should you chant Hare Krishna? All those things. But you must remember, Atma is hungry for Hare Krishna. Samajh rahe hain meri baat? Very, very important. As soon as somebody will chant Hare Krishna, Maya becomes very much troubled, because a person chants Hare Krishna, Maya cannot do anything. So her only utmost effort is to somehow stop that person from not chanting. It's like a ghost. She will know that you're going to chant Hare Krishna. You know that? When a person is actually ghostly haunted, the ghost knows. If you take that person to the person who will remove the ghost immediately comes to know. I know one of my relatives had this ghost, and as we took her to the person who was removing the ghost, she was speaking, don't go there. Where? She has not gone to that place. Very sweet. Don't go there. Actually in front of my eyes. He knows. Similarly, whenever there is Bhagavad Gita class, some point is always there. Don't come to class in time. This is the ghost of Maya. This is so important. That service is so important. You can class to milegi, recording to aa jayega. Why should you go in here? Every day, every moment. If you can see in your heart, you will see this is the ghost of Maya. Why should you go for Mangalarti? The singer is so boring. Why should you stand here? Are you standing for the singer or are you standing for Krishna? Obviously, but I just think that's how the mind revolts. That's why we have to hear Shastra again and again. No. If I see Krishna, Krishna will take me back to Godhead. We have heard from Shukdev Goswami. If I chant Hare Krishna, I'll naturally become liberated. If I take prasadam, oh no sinful reaction. We have to constantly supplicate our intelligence so that we can control our mind. समझ रहे ना? This is Maya is very powerful. Always she does. Bhakti mat karo. Don't do bhakti. Don't do bhakti. Maharaj Ambrish also conquered a great yogi, Durvasa Muni, simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. I am 100% sure that nobody understands this. What does Prabhupada want to say? Beautiful, beautiful line. You know the pastime of Durvasa Muni, how, you know this king is Ambrish Maharaj and is Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is a brahmachari. Not only a brahmachari, but actually he had 10,000 or 60,000, I don't know, some sannyasi disciples. He was very powerful. Brahmachari means he had fully celibate life. Yogi also, very powerful. And you can see in the photo how when he had come to Ambrish Maharaj, some of the devotees may not know about it, he had come to Ambrish Maharaj on the day of Dwadashi. And he said, okay, I'm coming for prasad, I'm going to take bath and come. And purposefully he was making it delayed. You know this pastime? Yes. Yeah. I'm just giving a small introduction for those who don't know. And Ambrish Maharaj was waiting, and then said, oh, the time is going away. And you must remember, he was doing the austerity for the welfare of his kingdom. And what was the consciousness of Ambrish Maharaj? Just even for all this, also for the pleasure of the Lord, all this kingdom, all his wives, children, everything is only a dream. Although he was a king of the whole world, surrendered to Krishna. You know these things from Bhagavatam. Very amazing. So when Durvasa Muni comes and he saw that he just took some drops of water, he became so offended. You see? Just try to see this. I think you are not focusing. Try to see that. He felt so offended by just small so-called offense of Ambrish Maharaj that he took 3 drops of water or whatever, 2 drops of water, that he's ready to kill him. Can you see that in the photo? He made a kritya by which Ambrish Maharaj could be killed. But Ambrish Maharaj, you can see in the photo how he's standing with his both hands joined. If the Lord wants me to be killed, fine. So you see, when Prabhupada is saying that Ambrish Maharaj has conquered Durvasa, we must not take in the sense of a fight between 2 people where a person is conquering another person. Are you able to understand this point? He conquered because his senses were completely surrendered to Krishna. He did not even have a desire to even maintain his life if Krishna does not want to. We are not at that level, but at least we can appreciate Ambrish Maharaj's thing. And I know the whole story. And then Durvasa Muni had to run for 1 year and was burned from behind. Ambrish Maharaj did not eat for 1 year. He was feeling it is because of me that Durvasa Muni is being inconvenienced, in trouble. And it's beautiful. I would request devotees to, if you have time, to read that section. Then Ambrish Maharaj, when Durvasa Muni ultimately comes back on the advice of Lord Vishnu that you should please ask forgiveness from Ambrish Maharaj. So then Ambrish Maharaj says so many things. If this is there, then may this Brahmana be released from the curse of Sudarshan Chakra. And finally says, if the Supreme Lord is pleased by me, and then this Brahmana be pleased. And one prayer he says, I sacrifice everything I have so that this Brahmana may be relieved. So you see, real wealth is tolerance. Real wealth is tolerance, which Ambrish Maharaj had because he was controlling his senses. Before I go further, Prabhupada says, I will not go further, I will just quote this shloka only. Savai manaha Krishna padar vindayor vachansi vaikuntha gunanuvarnane. So then it goes on and on. And that explains how his mind was fixed on Krishna. His tongue was only glorifying Krishna. He was only tasting Krishna prasadam and a tulsi which is offered to Krishna. His hands were doing some service to Krishna. Legs were going, padanu going to the abode of the Lord, the tirthas of the Lord. And his skin was touching the devotees. So, Janashraya Ratim. The idea was, the last line is very important. Because his senses were constantly engaged in Krishna's service, he developed love of God. So because he had love of Lord, so any external situation from outside could not disturb him. So are you able to understand how is he able to conquer? Little bit, the yogi, very powerful, externally controlling the senses, but little bit so-called offense. It wasn't an offense, and he could not tolerate it. And Amrish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni created a kritya to even kill Amrish Maharaj and very easily tolerated. So it's amazing how bhakti actually works, how bhakti is powerful. So real sense control is when we engage the senses in Krishna's service. So I hope you liked the shloka today. We don't have any questions, seems to be. Do you have any questions? You are saying that they tolerate it without getting disturbed, but toleration itself somehow disturbs our mind. How can we understand this? Okay, if I am hungry, then any food which is in front of me, if even if it is not offered to Krishna, there will be some difficulty. There may be a desire to eat that food. But if you are filled with prasadam, then still. So that is example of that is the answer which has been given by the Lord. Because devotees are so blissful in Krishna consciousness, they don't worry about these things. Actual devotees, maybe we are struggling so. But even now, if somebody tells you, "Hey, pagal ho gayi hai," he's chanting Hare Krishna, do you care? Mataji, do you care about it? If somebody says you have become mad, you're chanting Hare Krishna, waking up 3:30 in the morning, I'm certain that you are mad. People say like that to you sometimes? No? Don't worry, it will come. It will come. They pagal ho gaya. They are crazy people, waking up early in the morning, chanting Hare Krishna. They have nothing else to do. Yes? So many times. We don't worry about it. We don't care about it. Is it not? So we are happy chanting Hare Krishna. So what do you worry about it? What is this? One person is speaking, others are hearing. They have no other business. Same thing. Bhagavad Gita, same Chaitanya Charitamrita. Say, what is this? Don't you have any other thing to speak? Yes, we have no other thing to speak. No matter what you say, we are like dog's tail. We are not going to change. We're not going to become straight. So that's how we become happy in Krishna consciousness. So we can easily tolerate. Prabhuji, troubles come and we keep on thinking about them, and it sometimes becomes difficult to overcome those. What to do in such circumstances? I think from Lucknow to Vrindavan there is a direct bus service. Bus and train both available. So you see, he's closing his eyes. I am ready to give him accommodation. I'm ready. He can take care of IVTV and he can do his business also. I'm 200 Mbps Wi-Fi, free of cost, all life, nice prasadam. Rascal number one. He does not want to come here. I am alone, son. Is it not? You are two people. You are there and your brother is there. So why you cannot come? I am also not saying that you cannot get married. You can get married if you have money, but I will not give you salary for that. But that you have to maintain yourself. Come and enjoy life here, is it not? What is the difficulty? Anish is coming here. I'm not telling him to join ashram. Almost he is 7 years. Maybe he's thinking of that. But I'm just saying, what is the difficulty? Mataji is difficult. Prabhuji is no difficulty. General question. No. I am giving you a specific answer. Don't ask general question and ask. It's very simple. Chittaha sarva durgani mat prasada tarshati. We remain in association of devotees. We fix our mind on Krishna and we do the needful. If there is some problem, we have to do the needful. But ultimately, if we can focus our mind on Krishna, everything gets resolved. What question you have? Atma only wishes to enjoy love of the Lord. Yes. No, accept, not use the word enjoy. Yeah. Bhunje siva sukh. Want to serve Krishna. Then desire to enjoy material things arise in Atma or not. You see, the point is, since beginningless time, the soul is identifying with the body. So the real not is the false ego. So because of the false ego, the Atma is identifying with the matter. And that's why is thinking, because willingness or the desire comes from the soul only. But it becomes, corrupted. For a conditioned soul, the desire becomes corrupted. How does that? Krishna bhuliya jeev bhoga vancha kare. Krishna bhuliya, man is not mentioned. Shastra says Krishna bhuliya jeev bhoga vancha kare. Who is desiring? Jiva is desiring. We cannot say that Krishna is desiring, that the Jiva should desire. The living entity has been, since beginningless time, desiring to enjoy materially. Krishna bhuliya jiv, not knowing Krishna's swarupa, Krishna's happiness. Jiv bhogavancha kare. Very clear? So who desires? The living entity desires. And after that, the desire becomes manifested through the mind and senses. That's a different thing. Does it answer the question? Okay. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we'll stop here. We'll meet evening 6:30. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Tai Gaur Premanande. They are not such